Morning, everyone. It is Rollie and Sabrina. So today is January 1st, as you guys already know, but it is January 1st. Today is the first day of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, 365 days. For those of you who've signed up for the mailing list, I'm going to have to do it manually just because we didn't get it set up with Shannon's help just yet, but I will get I'll get that figured out, and so I'll actually send them out manually. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that either, but we'll figure that out. So sometime today you'll actually get today's quote. And so today is January 1st, and we're a little bit late. So it's way a far cry from 7 a.m. Hey, Mimi. Because I had a sleepover with Sabrina and her brother, and so we had so everything was still pretty quiet in the house, and I didn't want to get them stirred up this morning at 7 a.m. So I figured if they were sleeping, then let them sleep, because I'm sure that their mom appreciates them being able to get that extra sleep that they had. So if you are catching the replay, then hashtag replay. I'd love to know that you guys are on. Love to be able to hear some feedback. And for those of you who are online, love to be able to hear how things are going. So I'm going to start with the quote. So the quote comes from, where did my paper go? Kason moved it. Hang on a second. So the quotes are coming from, and I'm doing this in a different position. So don't sweat the small stuff. The 365-day calendar. Is that better? No, that's not better. Sabrina was laughing. There it is. So don't sweat the small stuff. And so then each page I'm tearing off every day. So it is in my, I'm not used to doing it from this far away. So this is from this book, and so every day I will tear off a page, and so usually I'm pushed over more, but trying to get Sabrina into the video this morning. So so I'm going to tear off a page every day, and so here is the quote for today. So there is another way to relate to life, a softer, more graceful path that makes life seem easier and the people in it more compatible. The other way of living involves replacing old habits and reaction with new habits and perspectives. These new habits enable us to have a richer and more satisfying life. So really interesting is that they actually talk about a different way of going with things. And so usually you hear, not usually, most of the time you hear grass isn't always greener on the other side, but yet this one here, this quote talks about how there is a different path, there is a different way of us being able to look at this and being able to do this. And so we keep losing Sabrina's head, we keep losing my head. I'm not used to being over this far onto the onto the screen. But this is so for me, for this year, is for this, like going with this quote for today, is being able to remind myself that there are different ways of being able to look at things. There are different ways of being able to, Miss Bobblyhead, there's different ways of us being able to take a look at how we're going to move forward. And so looking at things from a different perspective is one of the things that I'm going to set out for daily in this next week, month, year, just to be able to give myself an opportunity. So I often look at things from the glass half full. My drives Shelton crazy. But I do look at the glass half full in most cases. There are days that I just go on to a complete rant, and it's like there's no glass half full on that day. It is complete and unbearable. And on those days, I am thankful for, hey Bev, I'm thankful for the people who are around that are able to help pull me out of that whirlwind. But typically, I can see things from a glass half full. But I'm going to try and look at things from so like it says, is a softer, more graceful path. And so being able to change old habits into new habits, and bringing things about that are going to be great. Do you have something that you want to say, Sabrina? No, Sabrina's being shy. So so this is where that's where we're starting off our journey on the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff 365 days. And I want to be able to acknowledge Diane Bigelow. So Diane Bigelow runs a program here called Brighter Futures, and so I was invited to do a self-care workshop, and really enjoyed it. And as we were talking and as we were discussing about being able to make choices, and that there are some things that we need to not stress about, and these are moms of young children who are just starting off on that journey, and or perhaps have been on that journey for a little bit, but it's kids 0 to 6. Hey Maggie. And so just really important for us to be able to remember. So I want to thank Diane. So Diane was, so this is a book that came out like years ago, and I don't know if I have the book handy. So I don't even know if it actually has what year it is. But it was, so when the book had come out, 1997. So when my guys were just little is when the book came out. Actually, Diane's kids would have been just little then too. Some of them. And one of them was actually old enough to babysit my little guys. And so, but the, so when this came out, it was just a great reminder of being able to remember that. And one of the things that the book actually says is don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. And so when we can actually look at, hey Carol, so when we can actually look at it not being the big stuff, then when it's all the little stuff, and we can actually handle morning. See, this is what happens. So now Carol is online, and Carol just said morning. So, so that's how we communicate. So I have to do all the talking while they have to do all the typing. So Sabrina was trying to figure out how you do a Facebook Live. So this is her first experience to a Facebook Live, or at least it's her first knowing Facebook Live. But anyway, what I was saying is don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff, is when we can actually remember to look at all the small stuff and be able to manage that little stuff. When the big stuff happens, it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to manage things. And so, so yeah, that is where things are this morning, and that is our quote for today. So for those of you who just hopped on, I did share the quote for today from the, and I'm going to try and do this again. Don't sweat the small stuff, the 365 days, and I've just torn off the first page. When you allow the small stuff to build up, it becomes big stuff. Letting go is the key. Yes, absolutely, Maggie. And so that is something that is really important. And so when I decided that I was going to do this and just pull out this book again, and then I came across the calendar, and it was like, oh, this is even more perfect. So each day, the authors of this this book give us a quote to be able to take a look at. So here's the torn off page for January 1st. And so that is my caption for today. And like I said, for those of you who are on the daily email list, I will forward that one to you today sometime when I'm in between getting things going with the kids, and I will send that out to you sometime today, and I will and hopefully we will be able to get that set up sometime this week with Shannon so that they're automatically going out to you every morning at 5 a.m. because that is the goal. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye for now. See you later, ladies. Because I think Carol and Maggie are still on. So I will talk to you all later. Do you want to say bye, Matt? Bye, Bree? No. Yes, I can definitely put you on that list, Maggie. I think you're on my email list, so it's easy for me to be able to put you on that one. So I will, and if you're not on my email list, I will, no, actually, no, I know that you just signed up for the email list, so definitely we'll add you to that list. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.